Welcome to another episode of Diva Court. We are coming to you live with the bedtime stories.
Hey, y'all, hey.
With me is my co-diva, Dana Smith.
Hey.
Government names as usual, listeners. We're coming to you live pretty late. I understand that. But we wanted to make sure that you were edutained before you closed your eyes tonight.
And up to date on the
And
issues.
up to date, okay? Because you got to be in the know. What do they say? Stay woke. They are creeping.
You don't want to stay too woke because then you be
No. I didn't say stay up. I said stay woke. There's a difference between staying up and staying woke.
You gonna be
but
tired.
we need you to stay up for the show, okay? Don't go to bed yet.
Stay woke.
Don't turn off your phone yet. I know you need to turn it off to get some rest, but not yet. Because you need to find us every week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Don't forget to look for our videos every Wednesday when we push them out on YouTube. Push them real good so that you can see the many colors of beauty. Tonight, we are running the wealthy, the royal Burgundy.
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 Is that maroon burgundy?
Burgundy.
Burgundy.
Don't you love it, listeners? Make sure you speak, comment, subscribe, or else we're going to have to cut out all this goodness if you won't look at it.
Throw your comments in the chat.
Throw your comments at her,
And
okay?
we'll respond.
Because she wants to actually hear
And we'll
them.
respond.
But speaking of responding, the Supreme Court of the United States has responded to Donald Trump's request to remain on the ballot.
And the request was not denied.
It was unfortunately granted.
It was.
I kind of knew they were going to grant
You
it.
didn't know. We was arguing.
No.
Argued over Thanksgiving.
No. We can play back the Diva Court episodes for you. In fact, listeners,
I'm talking about
go
when
back
we
and
was,
check
when we
out.
was hanging out. Off
Go
camera.
back and check out the Diva Courts. Let me clarify for my Diva because she seems to tune me out sometimes.
No.
I did
with my
not
daddy.
want them to rule in his favor, but I understand from a legal perspective why they're concerned that voters should have a choice. I understand that. Trust me, I understand that.
All I hear
I don't
is
agree
blah,
with it.
Blah.
I don't agree with it. Let's make that clear. I don't agree with it.
You don't remember when
I don't
we
agree with it.
were hanging out? Was it Christmas or Thanksgiving? And
I don't hang out with this diva right here. Okay?
and you and my
Other
you
than
and
this
my
recording,
father,
I really don't know who that
you
person
and
is.
my father was like, he gonna.
I never met her. I don't know if she has a father because I am not the father,
She is not the father.
like Mari would say. Okay, so I don't agree with it.
Okay.
Listeners, I don't agree with it.
You don't agree with what?
I don't agree with the Supreme Court's decision to allow Donald Trump to remain on the ballot in the state because I do believe in states' rights.
Wait. Do you? Okay, let's run this back. You don't like it.
Why is the
but
producer
you
laughing at me
agree
saying
with
I
it.
agree with states' rights?
You don't
Because that's the
like
same argument for slavery.
Right. Just sign you up.
States'
sign
rights.
me up.
I don't believe in
Sign me up.
slavery, but I don't believe in states.
States' rights
States'
indicate slavery.
Okay.
That's
Well,
I
I guess
that's a slavery argument.
make him a slave. Do him like they used to do us.
So you don't like it, but you agree with it.
No.
So you okay? So
I don't
let's
like
play
it.
This out.
I don't agree with it, but I understand it. There's a difference. I don't have to like something, and I don't have to agree with something to understand something.
Okay.
So I understand
You know
why.
what one of the arguments were? So one of the arguments were, the guy was like, this is just a one-off and, we're not going to probably see this ever again. This is the one time, insurrection, it happened like so many years ago and this is the one time. And then the judge was like, I think it was Alito. And he was like, listen, we remember when impeachment was a one-time off way, way, way back in the day. And since Bill Clinton, 3 presidents have been impeached.
He said, we have to start somewhere.
Like, we don't want to hear this one-off. That is not a good argument.
This sounds like it's the beginning of the end.
Well,
civility.
I think that their decision stops the nonsense because you have to understand our political system is a bunch of little kids who get mad and want to take their ball and go home. So what I feel what's happening is that the Supreme Court was like, we know how y'all move. this person is going to be taken off the ballot. And then next thing you know it, the other state is like, oh, well, we don't like Biden. We'll come up with, he was colluding with China. And now y'all going to think that, oh, that's insurrection. We can take him off the ballot. It is going to be all of these crazy people taking people off the ballot. And it's going to affect the American democracy. Democracy.
I'm more like shamakery.
Shamakery,
Okay?
exactly.
Okay, so here's my problem with that. I don't like that argument either. I don't think that argument wouldn't get me as a Supreme Court justice to vote that he remains on the ballot. What would get me to vote that he remains on the ballot would be, I think the voters should choose, especially since we are so far gone as it pertains to the election.
Today is Super Tuesday.
And that's the only thing that would make me say I would.
Are we supposed to vote today?
Your Tuesday ain't super, okay?
Oh, so this is not the time.
Oh, you think they included you when they said Super Tuesday?
No, because I remember voting in Super Tuesday maybe when I lived in Michigan.
You must have been in the north.
Was that in Michigan? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So here's my point. It was the only reason as a justice, putting my personal opinion aside, putting my emotions aside, and just thinking factually, what would you do? What I would do is I would let him remain on the ballot only because the election is so far gone. Yeah. Meaning we're so far gone.
Yeah, we're too deep. We're in too deep.
To be honest with you, if someone had done something prior to, you understand, the year of the election, then I would have voted no. So timing is everything is what I'm trying to say to the listeners, that because of the timing, that's the only reason I would keep him on the ballot. Now, do I agree he should come off the ballot? Yes. Do I think he is not fit for office? Yes. Do I think he is immoral? Yes. Do I think he says things that are off the rail? Yes. I agree with all of that. But timing is everything, and because it's so far gone,
you don't want a civil
give the
war.
Voters. I don't even believe in civil war. Ain't gonna be no civil war. That's bullshit.
The insurrection.
Let me tell you something.
They had a whole insurrection.
Let me tell you something. If you think.
Whoa, that wasn't no insurrection.
That's a white insurrection.
No. That was a tour. That was a White House tour.
It's a White House tour.
It was a White House tour.
A very spirited one.
No, that was a tour with no spirit. All they were doing is checking the rooms.
Spirited tour.
They were just checking the rooms.
It's thorough, very thorough.
That's it. All they were doing is checking the rooms. So my point is this. If you think people of color could try that.
No, they can't.
Okay. I don't
think that.
I was just trying to let you know that.
Live, unlike your homegirl, Harris, Kamala, that is.
That would be Kamala,
okay.
Mamala.
Unlike your homegirl who says that America isn't racist, we live in two different Americas.
No, we live in one America.
You gonna let me finish or no?
The one that discriminates against people of color. Period.
There's two different Americas. There's two different justice systems. If a group of African Americans ran up into the White House, those hooligans, they're hooligans and they're thugs. They're trying to take over the government. They're Black Panthers. They're, Muslims, Nation of Islam. They're everything that people consider to be negative. It's just like when you go to Michigan and they win the basketball or the football game and they start flipping over cars and turning things over. Those are just
that's a celebration.
Kids.
I mean, they had a history of doing that.
I know, but that's what they do.
The Pistons used to fight on the court.
Those rambunctious
They said
kids.
because that was the game and then the fight. So you got 2 for 1.
No. I'm talking about Michigan. I'm talking about in Ann Arbor. I'm not talking about in Detroit. I'm talking about Ann Arbor. Rambunctious kids having fun. Let it be some black kids at
everybody's
Morehouse,
going to jail. Okay,
at Morehouse.
You're going to jail without a bail,
and you go to jail.
So
I think the Supreme.
I understand what the minority said, and listeners, the minority is like you went too far afield because they didn't just limit their decision to presidential candidates; they extended it to prospective officers, federal officers. That's scary because remember, if you extend it to those federal prospective, you didn't even say federal officers. You said prospective. And the word prospective means I'm not even in office yet. And that now can create arguments for attorneys who represent clients that say, hey, I'm a prospective federal officer. You can't, the state has no right under Section 3 to enforce anything against me.
No.
Let it go.
I think you're kind of pushing it. This only has to do with being placed on a ballot, and it's specifically towards the ballots. The reason why they said it's to spread it out is because there was a list of offices that included senators and, you know, things along those lines, because they didn't want the insurrectionists of the time in the South to rise and try to take over the government. So
wait. You're talking about legislative intent when you were a slave?
I'm not the one who wrote the.
I'm just asking a question.
What I'm
not
saying
asking
is
did you write it?
This is the law that they're so great. I wish it would have went their way. That your people brought up.
My people.
Your people. The
Do you
plaintiff.
know who my
Your
people
plaintiff
are?
used Section 3 as their way to take people off the ballot. So they brought up slavery pre-slavery laws.
Okay.
Not even pre.
So let me
So
ask
I don't
you a
understand what your
question.
argument. But what? Go
My
ahead.
argument is this. It is.
Oh, I know what I was about to say.
Here's
case.
how we get to court. Let me tell you how we get to court. We file lawsuits. Let me tell you how I defend my clients based on when they come to me. Let me tell you how legal arguments are made when I make them. Whether it's case law or not, whether I'm setting precedent or not, I can make a legal argument. And all I need is the right judge at the right time in the right courtroom to say she's correct.
But
I'm going to go with what she says.
All I'm saying is that just from hearing the arguments, that wasn't necessarily the mindset of the smaller minority when they were writing that it extended beyond the scope of presidency. But as we all know, Trump has another case coming up that says that he shouldn't be prosecuted because he's a president. So that is going from the appeals court. It should be is going to the Supreme Court, and that should be heard sometime in March.
So here's what I would say. If a president
Now,
is above the law,
if a president
is above the law,
is written like this, then
my
we have
question
another problem.
is, why are we not restoring people's right to vote when they come out of prison? Why can't a felon vote? In
certain states, a felon can vote.
Right, but no. My point is, why did not the Supreme Court say, hey, even if you're a felon, the state cannot say, because remember, I'm voting and my vote affects the entire United States, right? Because my vote can elect the president.
Yeah, it's a federal vote.
That's correct. I'm giving a federal vote. So if I'm a felon, you should not be able to, state, enforce your laws against me.
Do they have case law for that already?
I'm coming with it. Can I get a candidate? Anybody want to try?
Okay.
Let's file a state.
I think that they probably would win because they already served their debt to
That's
society.
my point. So this ruling is going to open up, which is what the minority is saying, which is against what you would want anyway. The minority is saying you're going to open Pandora's box, and you should have stuck to just president and not say that the state cannot enforce Section 3 against any prospective federal officer. Because if it's because it affects the whole country, because part of the arguments was it affects the entire country.
Well,
Him being on the ballot in one state affects the entire country.
Right, because, Colorado cannot unanimously decide the presidency. Because here's the thing, because of this electoral college, you know what I'm saying, where you have to have 271.
We need to get the popular vote, honey.
Right.
We need to get the
because
popular
of the
vote.
like maybe if it was just based on the popular vote, it would be different. But because the electoral college, where you have to get 271 votes
From the state.
from the states.
States have votes.
You have like 270.
No, it would affect the results.
And then because of Colorado,
you have none.
I have none, but everybody wants me to be president. But Colorado, you can't decide the presidency.
That's why it goes back to my argument that people who are convicted of felonies, the states should not be able to say that those people cannot cast a federal vote.
I
can understand if the state says you can't vote in my state election. So you didn't get to vote for governor, but you can't stop me from voting for president. You see what I'm saying? If we go with this mindset, this thought process, this analysis, I cannot vote for governor. I cannot vote for any state's office because according to this ruling, remember the state can control their state offices. They just can't control a federal vote.
Now I see that being a consequential argument.
I'm
where
coming with
it's
it.
Because
like,
the base of the argument seems like we're separating federal and
right.
state.
state.
I see that as
So
I
you
do see
if
that
it's a federal
as a
issue, you
correlation.
can't come on
I vote in the election, the presidential one.
I can only vote.
I
in
can't
president-
vote for your governor,
But
and
I can vote
but you
for-
can't bar me from voting for
for the
president.
Yeah, I see that being a
I can't wait. I
subsequential
would love to take
argument.
that argument up to the Supreme
Yeah.
Court and say, based on this ruling, baby, let's vote.
But I think that's a better argument than you're not being prosecuted for a criminal crime. A criminal crime. A criminal crime.
You have a civil crime?
I think that's different from you saying that a federal officer holder cannot be prosecuted for a crime by a state. I think that's completely different than what you're just saying. That argument, I think that's a really good
I
argument.
need to take that up. Well, speaking of taking it up, who cares? He's on ballot. He ain't getting my vote. Good luck to you,
He gonna win. I hope
Donald Rump.
I hope y'all.
Donald Rump.
I
Let
hope
me
y'all
tell
be
you something.
prepared.
A part of me wants him to win, but that's the suicidal part of me. You ever heard of a suicidal bomber? You know, people will strap themselves up and you're thinking, why would you be a suicide bomber? Like, you're going to take yourself out. You know what I'm saying? I can understand people who say,
How about we drink
blew-
every time I swing my hair back?
I mean, Bush was so bad, we got a black president. So
Yeah, that's true.
if it's so bad, you
Bush
might get.
wasn't that bad
That's true.
compared to what we've
That's
been
true.
dealing with.
We might need him to be really, 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 really elect. Like I said, the suicidal part of me, the part that says, yeah, let it all go get messed up because they've done enough to harm people in horrible ways, like the CIA and the things they did.
I mean,
in
since
foreign
Biden
countries
been
and-
president, like it's already been like 3 wars. It's 3 wars going on since.
But they got
Biden's
nothing to do
presidency.
with us.
I
We
know.
need to stay out of it.
I know, but they
and
can't.
mind
they can't
our
seem,
own
but they can't seem to
business.
stay out because they keep funding Ukraine and they fund
We need to
Israel.
mind our own business.
And there's another war somewhere. Is either in the Middle East or Africa.
Look here, I'm not keeping up with them wars. I got a better war for you. Who the F did I marry? That's a war. Listeners, what are we talking about? There's a young lady from the state of Georgia, Atlanta, that is. Oh, so you just gonna take a sip? Huh? You needed a drink to that? Are you relating to her story or are you relating to your story?
Sometimes, but don't tell them I said that. Who are you, son? You ain't never been like that to them.
Who did I marry?
Right.
Miss Risa Tisa. Her ex-husband, who she has fictitiously named Legion, maybe Legion of Doom. I
Legion
thought
like
Leech.
cancer.
Yeah, I thought Leech or Legion like disease.
It might have been like Legion from the Bible is what she was pulling them from.
Legion
Legion
like a
from the Bible.
disease. I don't know. I know it wasn't supposed to be.
You talking about leprosy?
No, not the Legion is a group. Like that's like the.
I know.
Legion of Doom?
I know
That's
it's not
WWF.
Doom. I know it's not
That's a
supposed to be
WWF.
something nice. I know
Right.
it's not a term of endearment, but she's calling her ex-husband Legion, and her story went viral because she was doing TikTok videos. I think it's like 50 TikTok videos, a total of 50 or 30, something like that, some large number of TikTok videos.
7 hours.
7 hours of TikTok videos.
Whoa.
And she was explaining the relationship from beginning to end. And I saw her interview on Good Morning America, and she said that the reason she was doing the videos was a kind of a self-help therapy session thing, but to also help other women who might be embarrassed by getting taken advantage of. So she marries this guy. I believe the reports are within 2 weeks of meeting him, but if you put it in context, it was during COVID and it was time to shelter and buckle down by yourself. And she decided, you know what, I'm a little desperate. I'm going to go ahead and let him come in, move in, and he never moved out. And it really wasn't supposed to turn into a husband. It was just, I'm dating this guy and he's schmoozing me and I'm feeling good about myself. He's so kind. And she said what really tripped her up is that he started paying all the bills at the house. And she said, thank you, Jesus, a man that's just taking responsibility.
that scam money.
Paying all these bills and doing all this stuff. And she realized he was not who he said he was. What's your take?
Did those checks bounce or something?
Oh no, they didn't bounce. It was just
No.
unemployment checks.
Oh.
Yes.
So what? Why is she mad that he paid the bills with
No,
unemployment?
no, no, no,
checks?
no, 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 no. Get your analysis
Hold on
right.
now. You got to get into
She
the lies.
is not mad that he paid the bills.
Okay. What's she
She's
mad about?
upset that he's a liar.
All
And he
men lie.
Okay,
I don't
so
think you've met this. Have you read the story? I don't think that he lies that much.
producer, could you please
Give us-
help her
give-
with a
give me the,
rundown
the-
of the lies?
the
All right, I can go off the top of my head. He lied about being a VP of a condiment company.
Okay, check.
He lied about getting her a BMW about 7 times. So they test drived about 30 times,
Check.
several different cars, saying, "Oh, I'll get you a BMW X5 and you're gonna love it." And she fell in love with it, and she said, "Let me call up my bank because I have my money offshore on my offshore accounts." And the offshore. What happened was the offshore
Is off the shore.
is offshore, and I can't get the offshore money on the
They
boat
off-
to get it to onshore.
They off for sure.
And it's off for sure. So we're gonna have to put a hold on that. But I can get a Nissan. So we got her a Nissan.
Okay. So
But
we
he-
got her a Nissan.
he-
So she didn't get a Benz. She got a Nissan. Okay.
She
What's wrong
didn't
with
get a BMW, she got a Nissan.
Right.
Oh.
There's a
He
big
said
difference.
he's gonna buy her house.
Uh-huh.
So they went house shopping about 20 times. And each and every time he was like, I want to pay for the house with cash. Just cash only. Just cash
So
only.
offshore, never got
And
on
they
shore.
were like, sure. But we just want to see if you have the cash. We just want to see, proof. But your bank looking like, and he's like, nah, I ain't giving you that. That's too deep. That's too invasive.
personal. Too personal.
Too personal. That's too invasive. You can't have that. And then he lied about actually settling with the house. So he said, oh, we got this house. This house is ours. We just need to sign up the paperwork, get it all done. She looks it up on the internet. The house is sold. And she's like, wait a minute. It's supposed to be under contract. And they like, no, it ain't. We sold it to a white family. And she's like, oh, interesting.
He's a liar.
How long he's...
He lied to the point where he was talking on the phone by himself.
To himself.
About
He pretended to be his own,
his own family.
and he pretended to be his own assistant.
Does she have a BBL?
Who?
Does she have a weave? Does she have fake nails? What did she lie about? I'm just saying.
Oh, so you're justifying his lies?
I'm just saying women lie all the time. So
Wow. So
all
one lie begets another lie,
What
listeners.
I'm saying is that
lie to me because I
what I'm
lied to
saying
you.
is that so if he was
But you can see
cashing
her
you out-
lie. You can't
Oh
see
yeah, I
his.
forgot
So
another
he
lie.
was-
He lied about his social on the marriage certificate. So when she did a background check, it came clean. But when she found out his real social, she found out this man is a hardcore criminal.
I tried to help you, sir.
And on top of that,
This diva tried to help. She
on
can't
the
help you.
weekends that he said he was doing business deals or
Was he
business
selling
trips.
drugs?
No, he had weekend jail. So he had to be gone during the weekend. to have
Honey,
weekend jail.
I'll be right back. I got business to take care of.
And
Jail business, that is.
on the other part of the list, she had a miscarriage and she needed somebody to drive her back from the surgery for the miscarriage. And he insisted that he would let the assistant pick her up. And he's like, I got an assistant. I'll let her pick you up. Luckily, I don't know what happened, but she just said, you know what, let my aunt pick me up, or whoever she said, let me pick me up. And he was mad. He was pissed off that she denied
He's a good actor.
his assistant that didn't exist
From coming to get you
to come to get you
at the hospital.
because he had weekend jail
So
that
how many
weekend.
lies does it take before you realize that I probably should?
To be honest with you, she said she ignored every sign. She said every red flag that went up, she said it was pink. She did. And I love her candor. I love her honesty. She's owning it. She said, I had to apologize to God because I knew good and well that all the flags were going up. Every red flag that I was out, she said, I would go, no, that's not really red. That's kind of pink. That's just pink. She said, I ignored every sign. She was like, there was not one more sign God needed to give me to tell me that this man.
So what made her stop then? Did he leave her?
That's what he said, because they went to him to ask him for his side of the story. And he said, I will not comment. I will not come back. I could just tell you she's just mad because I left for somebody else. I'm dating someone
That's
else.
probably true.
Her flags were as red as the Chinese national flag without the star. It was that red.
You see how he probably did leave her, which shocked her into reality.
You know
and
why
made
I
her
think
go
he
down.
No,
left
he
her?
didn't leave her. She had to threaten to kill him for him to leave. She said something broke inside of her because I think she finally was fed up with the lies and was going to kick him out the house. And then he was on the phone with his aunt. I'm putting air quotations if y'all can.
Because we don't know if he has an aunt.
So, and he started lying on the phone saying, "Oh, she stole all my money and she's taking my car and she's taking the kid that was a miscarriage and she lost it." And said, "I will kill." I will. She got on the phone with her mother and the aunt was both saying, "Get out the house, sir.
Please leave."
She will kill you."
She snapped.
To the point where she was eyeing the nearest lamp and eyeing him and eyeing the lamp.
Sir, you were going to be on Snapped when she snapped.
And the
There
only
is a
reason
show called Snapped.
why I believe he felt like he was in danger is because he had a bad knee. He was big.
Not a bad knee.
Oh.
He was big, and that was the only lie he didn't make.
My knee is really bad.
I really got bad knees.
So he was actually in danger.
So kudos to Risa Tisa.
Why are we giving her kudos?
Because she owned her mistake.
Okay.
In life, we don't take responsibility. We don't like to be accountable for our actions. And she owned it. She took it 100%. The criticism. She said the only thing she didn't lie, though, is that somebody was criticizing her and saying that, yeah, he lied to you because you was fat and you was desperate.
You talking about Charlemagne?
Yes. I don't
Let me
think
tell
it was
you know
nice.
what? Charlemagne can't talk about nobody when Joe Biden said to him in his face on national camera, TV, wherever they were, "You're not black if you don't vote for me." When he said that, and Charlemagne's supposed to be this super duper, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. When a white man tell you that, you don't say nothing. You just let it slide. It just
Like
tells
I
you, like,
said.
how you punching down? Like how
She
Dave
did
Chappelle
not
said,
like
how you
it.
punching down at somebody? You ain't hollered at an old boy who said you ain't black if you don't vote for me. When you
I don't think that anybody should be lied to, mistreated.
she wanted to
deceived.
be no.
Because skinny
She
women
want-
want love too.
Right, and they
Fat
get
women
lied
want
to.
love too, and they get lied to
Everybody
just
get
like
lied to,
everybody. So
but no.
but I guess he was justifying it by saying you could lie to her because she's fat.
No. You can lie
How
to her
does that
because
work?
she has low self-esteem.
No, but is it low because she's fat?
No, you just low self-esteem. There's
That's
plenty
why he
of
should not have
pretty women
connected
with
it.
low self-esteem.
Oh, yeah. By the way, he was cheating on her at the same time.
Oh, God.
What else happened?
I'm out. You know what? I don't have
No, but here's the thing.
I don't
You
have no
cannot make a comment about her weight to justify
Oh, no,
herself.
I'm not-
You should have said she has low self-esteem and that's why she ended up that way.
Right.
That way, it doesn't matter what
It
her
don't
weight
matter.
is
It
or
don't
how
matter.
fat she is
or how cute she is.
or how cute she is. It shouldn't matter because you have cute women that end up in
Got-
relationships.
got
Low.
dragged.
No, snake's belly low
Right.
self-esteem.
Be getting dragged.
Okay? So don't do
And
that.
still be like, please.
She
say
also asked him why did he even decide to marry her in the first place? And his response was, because he would have left me otherwise.
Ooh.
So he knows that she had low self-esteem.
No, he knows that she has Christian values because she did speak of that. And I think the Christian values is I can't have a man living in my house. You got to leave.
Wait.
Because fornication.
I mean, I'm not trying to judge nobody's Christian
Please don't
values.
judge because fornication.
I'm not.
They do preach that.
I'm not talking about the fornication. I'm talking about what about all the other positive things? Like you are a child of God. Like, I'm gonna put. You know what I'm saying? It's just what happened to all the things that build you
That's
up.
what she said. I was a child of God and I can't have a man in my house that I'm sleeping with. That's not my husband.
No, but you
and
can
he
have
said
a man
you would
in
have
your
put me
house
out.
that's dragging and lying to you.
But I don't know that because
She
the social,
did know.
the social that I have is valid.
No, she did know. She just avoided.
But she also stated that she's from the old school where what
If-
happens
no,
in the
but if
house
she-
stays in the house. So
No,
she
no,
don't
no.
tell
Oh,
nobody.
remember this diva believes in that too. Don't share your mental health out in the
that's-
streets.
Oh my gosh!
Share
you
it
and
with
these
your
false
family in the
equivalencies.
home.
You are the queen.
Keep it in the family.
I
queen
mean,
of false
it would be kind of weak
equivalencies.
to say that my husband is cheating on me and I feel bad and all
No,
that.
that's not what I'm saying. It's what
You
I'm.
remember you hate weak.
I do hate weak, but what I'm saying is that there were 10,000 things probably before you even got married that were red flags that she was like, oh no, I'm not.
Ma'am, she married a man in 2 weeks. You can't get to
Oh,
10,000 in
what?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
It was a little more than 2 weeks, but
A few weeks.
Like she only knew them. Honestly, she only
Very
knew the
short
man
period
for
of
like
time.
2 weeks. Honestly.
Again,
It was
this is
quick.
giving low self-esteem.
It was quick. It was given COVID.
It was getting lonely.
Look, COVID, a lot of people got together and a lot of people separated. because people were like, I didn't realize I was married to you.
It's given. I don't like
and
to
I
be
can't
by
stay
myself.
with you. I cannot stay with you. I don't like you. Well, you know what? Maybe she needed a sister girl group to tell her,
Maybe so.
hey, you can't keep that up.
She needed a hairdresser that would actually listen to her
No,
story.
she need a
Because you know hairdressers give good legal advice.
legal,
all day.
non-legal, legal,
All day.
non-legal advice.
Non-legal.
Legal,
Legal
non-legal.
advice. They
He
swear
sound
they'll
like
give us
he
some
sound like
legal.
he cheating on you.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you what you need
Like,
to do.
dang.
You need to go file this and you need to file that. Because I read one time, I saw on Google. Oh yeah. If you get your legal advice from a barbershop or hair salon, stop. It doesn't work. Speaking of sister group, and she should have had a sister group, Gwyneth Paltrow, listeners, has stated that there's a difference between black females and white females' friendships, that she finds that black females support each other and that they're more camaraderie with them than with white women. Do you believe her statement?
I don't know how white females hang out with each other to know.
She says that they are too competitive.
like I'm not in the like I'm not like the token one is like 10 other white girlfriends and I can
so
see
you're
how
saying
they
you don't
interact.
have any white girlfriends? Oh.
What I'm saying is that
Oh.
I don't hang around enough white women to know. I have worked with them before, and
did you see that backstabbing, non-productive, counterproductive competitiveness?
I just didn't really.
Did you see
invest.
the cat?
She absorbs them like it's National Geographic in the bushes.
And there's the white woman as she flips her hair back.
Look at Becky as she
I
throws
should learn
Ashley
how-
under
No,
the
I
bus.
don't.
Flip hair.
No, I don't
Like that.
know. Like I talked to him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not like in deep. Like I don't know past the surface level.
So you
how
think
they
if you
know.
were deeper in, you would
that
know?
I can have an opinion
Okay.
about. You know
I
what I'm saying?
disagree. I think they have camaraderie.
How do you know? You got.
I
Are you
think-
the token black in a white circle of friends?
I think
Can I? No,
they
answer
have
that
camaraderie.
question.
The white people that I have dealt with have
Wait,
the
are these-
same camaraderie as I've seen with sisterhood.
Are these-
They go to lunch and they're like, no, that's not
That's not sisterhood.
What's that?
That's surface. What is your? You're
What do you
not
mean
You're not
surface?
a girl's girl. So
Oh, I have too many guys at my house?
pause.
I'm surrounded by men.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Like you're not like a. You have maybe.
I'm surrounded by men.
Yeah, you're not.
Because
a
I have
girl's
brothers.
Girl.
I don't have
Yeah.
a sister.
You're not a girl. So you
don't have a
you
daughter.
don't really know what girl relationships are like for
But
real.
I've been around enough women
no,
in
no,
school
it's, no,
and
it's
in
not the
undergrad.
same. It's
I was
not
in
the-
undergrad.
Do you have? Let me ask you this question.
I went to undergrad.
Do
It's
you
predominantly
have-
white undergrad.
Do you have a select few good black girlfriends?
Excuse me?
Exactly.
The
You see,
nerve.
excuse me. No, I do not.
I have a few good friends. I don't discriminate.
That's not what I'm
So,
asking you.
because of
that's
that,
not what. That's
I
not
have
the question.
a rainbow coalition
Oh
of
my
friends.
gosh. You just here's the question and you jumped over it. I'm asking you.
Okay, so I jump over
Yeah.
it.
Do you have like do you have at least is it a group of 5 girls, all black? Y'all travel, y'all hang out together.
That
y'all-
sounds just so one-minded
So that's
and
what I'm
one-sided.
saying. You can't really speak on this topic.
I can say my experiences with women of color and women of not color.
But see, when you say women of color, that's already women of color is completely different from
that's my
black
point.
women.
That's my point. Women of color, meaning they're black or they're Asian.
But that's what
or
I'm
they're-
saying. We're talking about black women, Asian women, Hispanic women. All
I
of these
don't
are
divide.
different.
I don't divide.
I know, but
find,
that's why I'm saying
You
you
know
can't
what?
talk on
You
this
know what I find?
conversation.
I find that women. Okay, let me take that back. Let me rewind.
Yeah, she's
I
about to say
find that
something.
human beings are more alike than they are different. I find that women have more in common, despite racial differences, than they have with men. I find that men have more things in common, and I'm not just talking about a genetic makeup. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not just talking about genetically. I'm thinking like you and I
Heal
are
the
friends, and we're
world,
like, sorry.
Make this a better place.
No. I saw Michael's face when they sang. We are the world.
No, that's We
Please
Are the
don't,
World.
Please don't
I'm
do
talking
it.
about the other one.
No. Both of them remind me of the same look on his face. So
I don't think you're qualified to have this conversation.
I am qualified to have this
You're
conversation.
definitely not qualified.
I
to
have
it.
interacted
First of all,
with
I have
enough.
seen what you, just the words that you choose to use.
I have interacted
I
with
have
enough
interacted. Have
individuals to be able to say, I think
No.
women have camaraderie. I think they're bad women. I think they're good women. I think they're supportive women. I think they're non-supportive
Okay,
women.
so
I think they're
Gwyneth
jealous
Paltrow-
women. I think they're non-jealous
Gwyneth
women.
Paltrow, who has a perspective that is different from ours. I mean, maybe yours is similar, but from mine, she is a white woman who has all white girlfriends, and she said the way that they were raised.
She didn't say she had all white girlfriends.
She
She just says her experience
Okay,
with white
can we-
women versus black women.
let me just-
She's got both.
Oh my gosh! Just let me just set my premise first before
Okay,
you.
set your premise and your
Okay.
prim.
When I say this, okay, in the general scheme of things, most white people have majority white friends. And then you have most black people who have majority black friends. And then you have people in the middle who have a mix of races and friends and everything like that. And that's where you fall, a mix in the race, in the middle, right? But she's saying from her perspective, my white girlfriends are different than my black girlfriends. And from what I'm hearing, and I could be wrong, these are two different friend groups. You know what I'm saying? So when she's with her white girlfriend, she feels a certain kind of way. She doesn't feel camaraderie. She feels like she's always in competition. She feels like it's always something. Like everybody has to, there's a one up. When she's with her black girlfriend, she feels like she could just chill and be cool and there's camaraderie. That's what she said.
She's saying she has witnessed the black women having camaraderie.
Her black
She didn't say
friends.
my black friends have camaraderie.
Can we refer
No,
to
we're
the
not
article?
because it's
So
late.
what you say, okay,
and
God.
we don't want to talk past my bedtime.
Okay.
And it's past
All right, so we
my
gotta be
bedtime.
out.
So we're gonna drink to Gwyneth Paltrow not knowing what she's talking about.
This is awkward.
When I drink to that, then we're done.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So, listeners, Terrence Howard has been hit with a
sure?
$1 million $1 million
Somebody
judgment after saying it's immoral to tax descendants of slaves. Now, Terrence is on to something.
He is very much so.
Because
on.
when I thought about his story after I read it, and I said,
Do you think I can send that with my tax bill?
I think we need a senator to pass some type of legislation to say we can't give you reparations, but we can stop taxing you for the work you're doing since we took all that free work from your descendants.
Quiet as it's kept. That could be the best way for us to get reparations.
That is the best way. That way you don't have to take no money and give it to me. Don't give me anything. Just
don't
stop
take
taking
it
what
from
I
me.
got.
Stop taking from me. Wow, he just solved reparations.
Hey, he did. And I couldn't believe it.
We need to do something
When I
about that.
first saw the
Can
story,
we
I
put
said,
some signatures together?
Terrence, you're ridiculous. Pay your taxes, dude. And then when I read the whole story, I said, Marsha, step back. He's on to something. We are complaining that it would be trillions of dollars to pay back what slavery benefited the white man.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a solution to it. Ha ha.
400
Stop
years.
taxing
No blacks pay taxes.
the slaves.
It's only 13% of the population, so that's
my point.
It's not going to affect.
It's not a
too
lot.
much.
So
That's
stop.
just a 13%. Well,
Supreme
out of
Court's
that
gonna drop
13%.
that right down to the ground. And be like, nope.
Listen, that
Nope,
13%,
nope, 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 nope.
that's not a majority of workers. So, a lot of them on
Stop taxing
welfare.
them. Stop taxing
according to what the white.
And maybe if you stop taxing them, they will go to work.
Supreme Court says no.
You think so? They would shut it down?
They would say you can't discriminate based on race or who gets taxed.
It's
That
not
is true.
discrimination.
Hey, you know they're filing
That's-
lawsuits. There's lawsuits right now.
That's not
That,
discrimination.
you remember
that's
they sued
payback.
that? You remember they sued that black woman that was
Yeah.
lending money based on race to the disenfranchised
lend no more
business,
money.
small business, lending her own money collected, and somebody sued her from the Trump group to say that was she was
The
discriminating.
Trump group.
The Trump
You
group.
just gonna throw him in there.
The Trump group. The Trump group. Because this country, if you want to be honest, listeners, has changed for the worse since his presidency. And I'm talking about morals. I'm talking about how we treat each other. I'm
Do you
talking
think
about
so?
absolutely.
What?
I used to go in a courtroom and there were things that you wouldn't say in court. You know what I'm saying? There were certain things you just wouldn't say. And
What's the
now,
worst thing you done heard now?
I mean, I've had a prosecutor say, "Lord knows I don't know what it's like to be black." You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself, "Are you serious?"
Well, what was the purpose of that?
Well, she was responding to my closing argument where I was arguing on behalf of my client that the statements that my client made in his jail call were statements that are made in the black community all the time.
What did he say?
He said, "Oh, I'm just so glad when this is over with, I could just, I could just get out and I could put everything, I could move forward and I could start hustling." And she called hustling that he was coming out to sell drugs. And that's the inference she drew from.
And hustling could mean so many different
Let me
things.
tell you something.
We hustle every day.
Listen to me. You don't know how many times as an attorney I was like, I got to go to court. Let me get this hustle on.
Yeah.
And I run out the office and I'm like, thank God nobody thought that when I said I was going out to hustle, that they didn't believe that I was an attorney going to a courthouse.
That's how you know they're in a culture vacuum.
Yeah.
That is correct.
They don't understand because that's a modern culture thing.
Yeah.
And if you're not inside that, you can already tell that person's.
I can hustle up this money right quick. Could
No,
mean
but
I'm
if-
about to slang some chips.
Hey.
If he said I'm gonna go get some nice drip.
Something he has to use something closer to the words that they use in the
No, but
drug.
I'm saying if he used other slang
Like,
words,
if
she
I'm
would have
about
been
to go
lost.
sell
Drip
this
what?
8-ball, then maybe you got me.
No,
I'm about to
but-
sell this 8-ball.
No. From how lost she seemed, she was like, "Oh, actually, 8-ball." He actually sells.
But my point though is she wouldn't have been comfortable saying something like that.
She could have said, "I'm about to get my hustle on." It could be do the hustle, do.
No. She interpreted, because she played the jail call for the jurors, and she interpreted in her closing that he was on the jail call when he was like, "Oh, I'll just put all this behind me. You know what? Finally, I could get this over with." And I was like, in my closing, I was like, "Listen to me. People say hustle all the time. Hustle doesn't mean drugs." And I'm trying to make the argument. And she was like, "Lord knows, I don't know what it's like to be black." And I was like, whoa.
Well, you don't obviously from that statement.
I can tell, because if I say hustle, that means I'm selling drugs. That is psycho.
Did he get convicted?
Of course he did. Of course he did. Because jurors are not as smart as I'd like them to be. Thank you very much.
What did he get?
We live in a
convicted for
very
hustling?
a judgmental society. And it was a split verdict. So it was a crazy verdict, because it was like, if the drugs are his, the guns are his. And if the guns are his, the drugs are his. And they split it. They were like, not his drugs, but his guns. So we were like, didn't make sense. But my point is, President Trump has caused us to lose a level of civility that used to exist even when we disagreed with each other. And then if you look at history, you'll realize that politics played a role in a lot of this stuff, because there's a new Netflix documentary that I started watching,
What is it called?
and
Can I get that Netflix code though?
it's called the Octopus. It's called the Octopus.
Wait a minute. Wait
It's
a
called The Octopus.
minute.
And guess what it
Did
was
you not
about?
just hear what you just said? She wants your Netflix password.
Can I get that Netflix code?
Oh,
though?
Netflix will cut me off if I give you the code.
No, they won't.
They said no
Just
longer.
say I could just click I'm traveling.
I'm an officer of the court. So you could be traveling. I'm an officer of the court. You will not get my Netflix passcode. Thank you.
What does officer?
But it's a good show. It's a good show. Officer of the court means I took an oath to uphold
the law.
the law,
There. So
the Constitution of the state
so
of
what
Georgia.
does that have to do with Netflix though?
The Netflix law says I should not be sharing it.
That's a policy. That ain't no law. Somebody
Netflix
told me
says-
policy. It does not make for law.
Netflix says
That's a policy.
don't
They
do
can't throw
it.
you in jail for that.
Don't do it. But here's the point I'm trying to make. I started watching it and I was like, oh my God. So the story was about all these people that started getting killed because they were doing it was the first time computers started trapping stuff and tracking stuff, and the computer software was called Promise. And Promise was a way for you to get data on other countries. And what happened in this Netflix series, it was like the United States took Promise and they were selling Promise to other countries, but they paid a programmer to program it so they could spy on the countries. And this led to the Iran-Contra, where President Ronald Reagan was accused of selling, well, not accused, but was selling
Convicted.
arms to Iran. You remember the Iran-Contra was
Oh,
about...
so this is a true story.
Oh, it's true.
Okay.
It's true. And they were showing how they believe Reagan won the election because when Jimmy Carter had negotiated the release of the hostages, that this Netflix series is showing that the person who got killed, what they were uncovering was a story that Ronald Reagan had paid, the United States had paid, like, Department of Justice had paid like $50 million for the hostages to remain so that Ronald Reagan could beat Jimmy Carter, because it was going to make Jimmy Carter look weak in the campaign. I mean, when you watch it, it's like, this is wild. This is wild.
Did you know that the FBI was convicted of killing Martin Luther King?
No, I didn't hear that.
That's
I hear they were accused of being involved.
No, they were sued civilly, and
Who sued them?
the family.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
They were wilding back then. Still are.
Trust me, they're still wilding, but they're just wilding in different ways.
Low-key.
It was a little more low key, but
It's
now
low
it's
key.
not.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just blatant.
Yeah,
Like
it's-
next thing you know it, they're gonna have you on video doing something, and you better have a
trust me,
timestamp
with
of when
AI,
that.
they will take that head and put it on that body
Yeah.
and put it in that club, and now
Yeah.
you stripping.
Work, day and night. Do. I wonder if I could get paid still.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go back to Terrence Howard's idea. I think we
That's a
should
good
make that
idea.
law that the descendants of slaves
Should
are
not
not
pay taxes.
taxed for any earnings that they make, whether inside or outside the United States. And as we say here on Diva Court, when we close the show on that high note, we'll drink to that. That was not a sip. That was a gulp.
What, you gonna follow us on Spotify or something?
Oh, you sure you want them to do that?
Spotify.
Okay, no. She can't do that. Let me close the show properly.
I thought we
Look,
finished.
listeners, are we done? Listeners, we need you to look for our episodes every week. We are working really hard to push out good material. We want you to be edutained, and we're trying to do it before your bedtime. If you want to comment on how you like the nighttime shows, please do. But before you go to bed, find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Apple,
and Google Podcasts.
Us.
You still want that Google commercial?
Yes, I do.
All right, Google, she
find
wants the
me.
commercial. Call the Diva. She'll do your Google commercials. And that's going to be finding our videos every Wednesday on YouTube.
You sleeping?
You got to see these colors. These colors, we think we did that with this color.
Somebody's a little extra
Hopefully somebody could say, y'all look beautiful. Keep it up, ladies.
We got any comments?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a comment?
I do want to hear the comment.
Y'all look nice today.
I just made that up.
That sounds like his comment.
It does.
Okay, we're done for sure. And as we say here on Diva Court, we're really done.
Oh, we're finished.
And we're finished. And we're over and out.
And we're
we'll drink to that. Sip, gulp.
Yours.
We got to drink to that.